Most employees are taught one version of retirement from the moment they enter the workforce. Work hard, stay loyal, save a little each month, and someday, maybe in your 60s, you'll finally get time back. But no one ever explains why this path feels so slow, so exhausting, and so fragile. And if you've ever looked at your job and wondered, is this really the plan for the next 40 years? This video is for you. So before we go any further, if you want honest financial conversations that don't sugarcoat reality, subscribe for clear and realistic wealth education, and comment truth if you've ever felt there has to be a better option than working until you're exhausted. Here's the truth most employees never hear. Early retirement is not hidden knowledge. It's simply incompatible with the traditional employee mindset. And that is why it's rarely discussed openly in workplaces, because once people understand how financial freedom actually works, they stop thinking like workers waiting for permission and start thinking like owners building systems. Employees are taught to think in terms of salary, raises, and promotions, but early retirement is built on a completely different framework, one that focuses on income replacement, ownership, and time leverage, not job titles or performance reviews, and that difference in thinking changes everything. The uncomfortable reality is that jobs are designed for stability, not freedom, and stability has value, but it comes at a cost, because most jobs limit both income scalability and time flexibility. And as long as income is directly tied to hours worked, freedom remains out of reach, no matter how good the benefits package looks. This is why most retirement conversations inside companies revolve around decades, not years, because the system assumes continued dependence on active income, and early retirement threatens that assumption by proving that time can be bought back much sooner with the right strategy. Another truth employees rarely hear is that saving alone will not retire you early, no matter how disciplined you are, because saving is defensive, it protects money, but it does not multiply it fast enough on its own, which is why people who rely entirely on savings often find themselves working far longer than expected. Early retirement is driven by investing and asset ownership, not paycheck management alone. And this distinction is huge, because once money starts working for you instead of waiting in an account, time becomes an ally instead of an enemy. One reason this reality is not emphasized is psychological. Once employees understand that freedom depends more on investments and ownership than loyalty, motivation shifts away from blind commitment and toward intentional decision-making, and systems that rely on predictability rarely encourage disruptive thinking. Another rarely discussed truth is that early retirement does not mean never working again. Despite what most people assume, it means removing the requirement to work for survival, which is a very different concept, because when income becomes optional, work transforms from obligation into choice, and that alone changes quality of life dramatically. Many employees reject early retirement without realizing it because they imagine it as unrealistic or irresponsible. But the real irresponsibility is ignoring how fragile a single income stream can be, because jobs can disappear overnight, industries can shift, and health can change instantly, and financial freedom provides resilience that employment alone cannot. Another truth hidden from employees is that the traditional retirement age is not a rule of math. It's a rule of behavior, because retirement timing is determined by how quickly income-producing assets grow relative to expenses, not by birthdays or policies. And that means retirement is negotiable for anyone willing to align behavior with the goal. Yet most workplace education focuses on minimizing risk rather than building opportunity, because risk avoidance feels safer. But avoiding intelligent long-term risk often leads to guaranteed decades of dependence, which is rarely acknowledged openly. Early retirement requires a mindset shift that many employees never make because it feels uncomfortable at first. Spending less than you earn consistently, investing aggressively relative to income, controlling lifestyle inflation, and resisting social pressure to spend more as income grows. And these behaviors can conflict with workplace culture that rewards appearance over independence. Another uncomfortable truth is that employee retirement plans are designed to benefit the system as much as the worker, because they encourage long-term participation while limiting decision-making. And while these plans can be useful tools, they are rarely optimized for early freedom. Now, because early freedom was never the primary objective, what employees are also not told is that early retirement often looks boring, not glamorous, because it is built through routine, patience, automation, and delayed gratification, not sudden breakthroughs, and boredom is exactly why many people abandon the process before it has time to work. Let's talk about lifestyle, because this is where many employees unknowingly sabotage early freedom. Increasing income almost always leads to increasing expenses, larger homes, newer cars, and more commitments. And while there is nothing wrong with enjoying life, unconscious lifestyle inflation quietly extends working years without people realizing it. Early retirees don't necessarily earn dramatically more than everyone else, but they spend intentionally, invest the gap, and maintain control over expenses as income rises, and that discipline compounds faster than salary alone ever could. Another truth that isn't openly discussed is that early retirement requires emotional resilience, because markets fluctuate, plans feel uncertain at times, and progress is not linear, but emotionally resilient. Investors stay the course, while emotionally reactive ones reset the clock repeatedly. Employees are often protected from volatility in their day-to-day work, which can make investing emotionally challenging at first. And this discomfort causes many people to retreat into familiar routines instead of pushing through the learning curve required for freedom. Let's be clear, early retirement is not about rejecting work or hating your job. It's about eliminating dependence, because dependence removes bargaining power, while independence restores it. And even if you never retire early, building toward it dramatically improves flexibility, confidence, and life options. One of the most powerful outcomes of pursuing early retirement is optionality, the ability to walk away from toxic environments, negotiate better conditions, pursue meaningful work, or reduce hours without fear. And this optionality is rarely mentioned in workplace retirement discussions because it shifts power back to the individual. Another truth employees rarely hear is that financial freedom is personal, not standardized, because early retirement does not look the same for everyone. Some people need less, others want more, and clarity around what enough means accelerates freedom far more than chasing arbitrary numbers. It's the biggest lie employees internalize is that they are late or behind, when in reality, awareness itself is the turning point. Because once you understand how early retirement works, every decision moving forward has context, and even small steps compound meaningfully over time. Early retirement is not reserved for entrepreneurs, finance experts, or extreme savers. It is available to anyone willing to prioritize ownership, consistency, and long-term thinking over comfort and social validation, but it requires honesty about trade-offs, which is why many people avoid the topic altogether. Here's the most important truth of all. Early retirement doesn't start with money, it starts with decisions, because money simply follows behavior, and behavior changes once you question the default path you've been handed without explanation. So if you're an employee watching this, understand this clearly. Staying employed is not the problem. Staying unaware is, because the moment you understand how financial freedom actually works, you gain control over your timeline, even if you choose to continue working. Take action now. Comment truth. If you're ready to question the default retirement path, subscribe for realistic financial education that respects your intelligence, and share this video with someone who feels trapped by the idea of working forever. And if you want to understand how investing simplicity supports long-term freedom, watch Only 4 ETFs You Need to Build Long-Term Wealth. Stop overthinking investing, because understanding the truth changes nothing unless you know how to act on it.